When night falls today, most people do the same thing. They turn on a light, they look at a phone, they sit in a warm room, they eat, they watch something, and later, they go to sleep. It feels normal, but for almost all of human history, none of this existed. No light switch, no television, no phone glow, no bright city in the distance, no safe little room filled with electricity. For most humans who ever lived, night meant something very different. It meant darkness, real darkness, the kind of darkness modern people almost never experience, and that creates a strange question. If ancient humans lived for hundreds of thousands of years, without electricity, without modern homes, without the night routines we know today, then what did they actually do after the sun went down? Did they just sleep immediately? Did they sit in silence? Did they stay afraid the whole time? Or did the night become one of the most important parts of being human? The answer is more interesting than most people think, because ancient nights were not just empty hours. They helped shape human fear, human family life, human sleep, human imagination, human storytelling itself. To understand that, we have to start with one thing. Before humans controlled fire, well, night was much more dangerous. Humans are not built like top night predators. We do not have huge fangs. We do not move silently in the dark. We do not see well at night, compared to animals like big cats, wolves, or hyenas. So when the sun went down, early humans had a problem. The world around them was still alive, but they became weak inside it. Predators were still awake. The dark still belonged to something. And if you moved carelessly, you could become food. That means ancient humans probably had to be very careful at night. Long before cities, farms, some would stay in sheltered places. Some may have climbed to safer positions. And later, once fire became more common, everything changed. Because fire did more than create heat. Fire extended the human day. It created a small island of safety in a much larger sea of darkness. Suddenly, humans could see a little farther. Predators would think twice before coming close. Food could be cooked, bodies could stay warmer, and people no longer had to end their entire day the moment the sky went black. That was a huge change. A campfire is not just light. It is a boundary. Inside the glow, there is safety, warmth, faces, sound, and human control. Outside the glow, there is cold, silence, distance, and danger. That contrast probably made the fire the center of night life. And once people were gathered around a fire, something important happened. They had time. Time to sit, time to talk, time to watch the flames, time to remember, time to teach, time to joke, time to warn, time to imagine. This may be one of the reasons storytelling became so important. Think about it. Daytime is usually filled with practical survival, hunting, gathering, carrying, making tools, watching for danger, taking care of children, moving from place to place. But night slows things down, and when a group sits together in one place, the mind goes somewhere else. Someone might tell the children not to wander from the fire, because dangerous animals wait in the dark. Someone might retell a hunt from earlier that day. Someone might explain which plants are safe and which ones kill. Someone might talk about a strange dream. Someone might point at the stars and connect them to a story. And over time, those stories become memory. Memory becomes culture, and culture becomes part of survival. So, one answer to the question is this: ancient humans probably spent a lot of their nights talking. Not random talking, the way we think of it now, but useful talking, social talking, emotional talking, teaching talking, storytelling that kept information alive before writing existed. If nobody writes anything down, the story is the storage system. And night may have been when that technology did some of its best work. But ancient nights were not only about stories, they were also about sleep. And this is where modern people often imagine the past the wrong way. Many people assume ancient humans just fell asleep as soon as it got dark and stayed asleep until morning. But sleep history is probably more complicated than that. In many pre-modern societies, people did not always sleep in one single block the way modern people try to. There is evidence from later historical societies that some people had a kind of first sleep and second sleep. They would sleep for a while, Wake up in the middle of the night. Spend some time talking, thinking, praying, or doing quiet tasks, then go back to sleep. That does not prove every ancient human slept that way, but it reminds us that modern sleep habits are not the only possible sleep habits. Around a fire, with no electric schedule, forcing everyone into strict timing. Sleep may have been more flexible. Some people might doze, some might keep watch, some might wake and sleep in cycles, some might stay awake longer, while others rested, and that makes sense, because someone probably had to pay attention. Night was not safe enough for every person in a group to become completely unconscious, without concern. If predators, enemy groups, weather, or fire problems were possible, then alertness mattered. So ancient nights may have included something modern life often removes: shared vigilance. One person listens, another sleeps, then roles change. That kind of pattern would make the group stronger. Night was also likely a time of emotion. During the day, danger is visible. At night, danger becomes imagination. A sound in the distance feels bigger, a shadow feels alive. A movement beyond the fire feels like a threat. The human brain is very good. That means fear itself may have played a large role. In ancient nightlife, fear keeps people close to safety. Fear keeps children near adults. Fear keeps the group aware. Fear turns rules into habits. Do not go too far from the fire. Do not sleep away from the group. Do not ignore the sounds outside. Do not waste the wood. Do not let the flame die. In that sense, night may have trained humans to become more cooperative, because one person alone, in darkness, is vulnerable. A group around fire is stronger. So night did not just create stories, it also reinforced group identity. Who is your family? Who protects you? Who teaches you? Who shares food? Who belongs inside the circle of light? That circle may have been physical, but it was also social. Inside the light, you are one of us. Outside it, you are exposed. And this might be one of the deepest human patterns of all. Even today, people gather at night in smaller, more intimate ways. Families around dinner, friends around a table, people around music, people around screens, people around conversation. The technology changed, but the pattern may be ancient. Human beings gather at night. That is why fire matters so much. In the story of humanity, it did not just help humans survive physically. It changed how humans spent time together. And once that time existed, language could get richer. Stories could get better. Traditions could become stronger. Children could learn by listening. Old people could pass down experience. Groups could laugh, warn, plan, and remember. In other words, ancient nights were probably not dead time. They were cultural time. But not every night was calm. Some nights were likely stressful. Bad weather, cold winds, predators nearby, hunger, injury, a weak fire, an unfamiliar place, a child crying, a group on the move. The romantic image of people peacefully sitting by a perfect fire under beautiful stars is only part of the truth. The other part is that many ancient nights were probably uncomfortable, sometimes terrifying, sometimes boring, sometimes exhausting. Ancient humans were still humans. They got tired, they got worried, they got restless, they got cold, they got sick. Some nights probably felt endless, and maybe that is part of what makes this question so powerful. For hundreds of thousands of years, every human who came before you lived through darkness in a way you almost never will. They knew the night sky more deeply. They knew silence more closely. They knew fear in a different form, and they depended on each other more directly when the sun disappeared. Then, slowly, humans changed the night. Fire became more controlled, shelters became better, villages grew, oil lamps appeared, candles appeared, cities grew brighter, electricity arrived, and now, in many places, true darkness is almost gone. Today, some people live under so much artificial light. That is how far we have come from the campfire. But the ancient night is still inside us, in our fear of darkness, in our attraction to stories, in our habit of gathering after sunset, in our flexible relationship with sleep, in the way a fire still feels strangely hypnotic, in the way shadows still affect the imagination. So what did ancient humans do at night? They stayed close. They protected the fire. They watched the dark. They rested. They took turns. They told stories. They taught each other. They managed fear. They built culture. And little by little, they turned the most dangerous part of the day into one of the most human. That may be the real answer. Night was not just something ancient humans survived. It was something that helped create humanity itself. And maybe the strangest part is this: the next time you turn off a light, lie in bed, and stare into the dark for a few seconds before sleep, you are touching something ancient, a world your ancestors knew for thousands and thousands of generations, a world where every sound mattered, every flame mattered, every shadow mattered, and every story told around the fire helped carry humanity into the next morning.